Hi everyone. Hope you are enjoying a splendid days at home with your loved ones all around. I must say that it is the second last episode of the same series, so that you don't feel lingering on and on with the Merchant of Venice and you could enjoy some other new topics too. At the very opening of Act 4, the Court of Justice in Venice could be seen, where the dignitaries of Venice, Antonio, Bassanio, Graciano, Salario, and many others were present, along with the Duke. The Duke tried his utmost to settle down the case, but Shylock, being extremely atrocious, did not want to settle it down. He had no compassion but malice, and was full of remorse, and moreover, he intended to grab it as an opportunity to take revenge on Antonio. Bassanio offered him many times more money, but none could move that hard-hearted and stubborn Jew. It was quite apprehensive from his biasness that for long he had been waiting for the same time to come. He gave vent to his thoughts and spoke out. So, can I give no reason? Nor I will not. More than a lodged hate and a certain loathing, I hear Antonio that I follow thus a losing suit against him. His speeches very much revealed his repugnant behavior. As he was preparing himself to cut out a pound of flesh from Antonio's body, there came Balthazar, who was Portia in disguise, along with her clerk, who was actually Nerissa, carrying with her a letter from Bellario, the doctor of law from Padua, who was supposed to attend the court to plead for Antonio, but being sick, he was unable to attend the court that day. Therefore, a young counselor and a clerk to help him was sent in his place. He pleaded the Duke to permit young Dr. Balthazar to carry out the proceedings of the court. Permission was granted, and the trial scene, around which the theme of the play revolves, started. The importance of the arduous task Portia had engaged in gave her the courage and wit to do it. She spoke in her sweet voice the quality of mercy. She started, "It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath." This rich simile links with the previous line in its suggestion of some eminently natural, spontaneous process, when she stressed that the quality of mercy is not restrained. Means the essence of mercy cannot be enforced. It is God-like quality. God is essentially merciful. If God treated us according to justice, not mercy, none of us could hope to be saved. Therefore, we must exhibit this godly virtue to our fellow beings too. The divine nature of mercy is one of the driving themes of the play. Though the law was in Shylock's favor, which the Christian friends also acknowledged, but still they expected him to show mercy. Portia, in disguise of an advocate, tried her best to offer Shylock a handsome amount of money. But Shylock was seeking to make an unfair use of the law and wanted to use it as an instrument for enforcing his malicious purpose. However, when he hankered after it, she asked him, "Have by some surgeon Shylock on your charge to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to earth?" Portia had given him more than one chance to be merciful, but in vain. They argued over the matter and found that a pound of flesh had to be taken out, but no drop of blood should fall at all. It was utterly impossible to cut off a pound of flesh without shedding even a single drop of blood, and thus, with the help of a ready wit, Portia could save Antonio's life and got a lot of appreciation for her sagacity and prudence. Leaving Shylock, who was anguished over his failure, everybody took a sigh of relief. Gratiano mocked at Shylock and repeated his words which Shylock had uttered when he saw himself in the favorable situation. "O upright judge, marked you a learned judge." At the end, the court decided to punish Shylock for having conspired against the life of one of its citizens. His property was also seized by the law, and he was not given a single penny. After the court was adjourned, Bassanio wanted to offer money to the worthy advocate for his fantastic job. But to make a merry jest, Portia, in disguise of an advocate, asked Bassanio the same ring which she as a wife had gifted to him. Nerissa in disguise also played the same prank with Gratiano. Bassanio and Gratiano showed distress, but out of their obligation they unwillingly offered them their rings. What happened next? We'll see in the last video of this series. Some questions are also given here for the assessment. Please don't forget to press the subscribe button along with the bell icon if you want to get my videos without fail. Thank you. Bye bye.